All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It is Sunday. It's little Donnie's birthday. Um, the I found me a new victim to redo. Is the hopefully this time it goes a little bit better. I did buy the grapeseed oil, so we should be good this time. Um, and the old one is actually it's not in here. It's the other one that I did. It was splotchy, ugly looking, but it turned out fine. It makes pancakes beautiful. Um, it kind of shocked me, is what I'm trying to say. Well, we are where. Oh yeah, I wanted to update y'all on this hemp oil refinery idea thing. I pretty much need like money or a prayer, y'all. Wings, prayer, hopes, thoughts, whatever you want to do. Um, because there's a conundrum on this. Uh, I could go with the El Cheapo one where you do all the legwork, but that even runs on time, not actually. It's only the estimated average cost. The like if you have difficulties or if you struggle or whatever, or it's like this long form thing. That's the real daunter to the whole thing is to file it. I need to file for the Department of Energy. I need to have the long form done, and eventually is what. So to file it with the short form and then to still have to go back and do the long form doesn't do any good. Is what it is. Um, but you can get like flat out where the lawyer does everything. Um, it's like 5, 6 thousand. I was reading the thing with and I'm only going off of what AI was saying because they're pretty much in touch. They perfectly right every time? No, I'm not saying they are. So double check it. But they get it pretty close to the ballpark that you're looking at. Do I have that kind of liquid cash? No, I don't. I still got about 3 grand, y'all, going into the solar from last year, and before this winter, I got to add another almost 4 grand to that. I'm paying it off. I'm knocking it down. But do I have extra, flush with cash? No, I don't. So I'm not. Is the There is a free pro bono thing that we did file for. Haven't heard back from them. They may be already full because they do the class every 6 months is what it is, and you get to come in. It's like a preliminary. It'd be like you're kind of spinning your wheels, but it helps you do it for free is what it comes down to. And and you got to do more of the legwork part of it too, in which I don't know. Not to no pun on the paralyzed part, but the just the running and all that's more than everything here is a long ass way. I'm at the very bottom of the state, and the capital is at the very top of the state. Um, that's a problem, and a whole mountain range away. Like you got to cross the Rocky Mountains to get to it. Um, and not that that's not doable. It is, but that's a lot of work for a cripple. I mean, yeah. Um, have somebody numb your legs and drag yourself backwards, in and out of chairs and up and down of the vans and stuff like that. You'll get the picture. It's not as easy as it sounds. But is the what was I going to say? Um, yeah, I need like a hope and a prayer for about $6,000 and or a patent attorney that is well versed at long form IRS, and you donate your time. One of the three. Um, Now, don't get me wrong. Is there money in this idea? Oh hell yeah! And it's going to be an uphill battle all the way across. Even to be accepted as a patent, it's going to have uphill a battle. This is going to disrupt a $930 billion industry. This is not going to go over easy, is all I'm trying to get at. Like everybody and their brother would fight this. And the farther it goes, the harder they'll fight. That I get. That's the uphill. Um, but I'm just saying so nobody's disillusioned or whatever like that. and that's why I'm not throwing out big promises or whatever. Whenever you try to disrupt a $1 trillion industry, yeah, step sideways without, a security team of 60, 70 people. Yeah, they just snuff your ass just to make you go away. And that's the reality of it. That's a lot of money. I mean, they'd probably roll you in the ditch for a far less than $1 trillion is all I'm trying to get at. Um, but this is the holy grail. I hate to say it. The numbers run them, doubled them, tripled them, back and forth them. It removes 240 pounds of CO2 per gallon. It's only because of hemp's conversion of CO2. It hemp can sequester more CO2 in 120 days than a forest of the same size can do in 20 years. Put that in mind. It consumes more algae, or it consumes more CO2 than anything on Earth per mass per growing cycle kind of thing. Um, so it's up to y'all. And like I said, I gave my kids the idea, block and blueprint. If they want to sell it, they're welcome to it. Um, if not, I'm going to pursue the license, the nonprofit. Um, Whether it's through this or through another idea, it don't matter. I'm just still going to pursue that nonprofit, is what I'm trying to get at. Because I am playing on other ideas about all this stuff, is what I'm trying to get at. There's a good need for a lot of stuff, y'all. Way more. I mean, getting rid of the CO2 out of the atmosphere, that, how to say that? That's kind of novel because it's not the real problem. We need to get rid of the plastic in the petroleum in the scum layer that covers 70% of our Earth's surface in the ocean. That's the problem here. When your car overheats, you don't blame the air. It's your cooling system. The Earth's radiator is the ocean. That's how it gets rid of the heat from like volcanic all the activity that goes on underneath the Earth. Um, the Earth sheds way more heat every day than it gets from the sun, y'all. It's not the way that they want to make it sound. Like all the hysterical people that are crying and boo-hooing and wrenching their hands and screaming and and carrying on about the CO2. Earth was at 448 ppm parts per million, like back in the Miocene, the epoch. That's millions of years ago, way before humans ever showed up. You can't blame this on humans. Yes, we are the thing that puts the CO2 into the atmosphere, but we're not that's driving this rapid acceleration of climate. That's not us. I mean, yes, we're a cause. We're dirty and we're nasty, and we make stuff bad. Injecting it way up into the atmosphere. There are problems with what we're doing. I'm not saying that. We're not the only cause of this. At the end of the Miocene epoch, when it was 448, there was no humans industrialized cranking out jet aircraft. And it was still higher than it is now. What it's not going to allow it to be much higher before the AMOC gets to about 30% flow decrease. It's already at 20% in the last century. It lost 20% in a century. Been stable for 1,000 years, but lost 20% in a century. That yeah, it could have been human development. More than likely not, y'all. I mean, I don't know exactly how much petroleum we've dumped in the ocean. I know it's been catastrophic. We're like ridiculously stupid when it comes to pollution. Um, Maybe we did that. I mean, I'm not saying we didn't at this point, because when it comes to the petroleum in the ocean, the plastics in the ocean, definitely we did that. That's what I'm trying to get at. We did that. And that's the problem. It's the radiator is clogged up. Otherwise, it would work more better. We would gain 50 years, 100 years. It would still happen. That's what I'm trying to get at. The 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 ice ages come, and it has nothing to do with humanity. The ice ages come every 125,000 years. It's a cycle we were hit. Did we collide with another planet or some silly bullshit like that? No. No, it would have vaporized our atmosphere. You have no comprehension of the amount of energy that two planets would have to collide together. There would be no fucking moon. There would be none of this silly crap that they're talking about. Not held in a biaxial orbit for 4 billion years. Okay, that's just utter horseshit when somebody says we collided with another planet. There is no extra mass in the Earth's core, and that's the one thing that could not escape the collision is the mass of another. Is the core mass of another planet. And Earth's core is not any bigger than like Mars or Venus or I mean, if you take a sample from Mercury to Venus to Earth to Mars, it's almost the same. We didn't do that. It was probably hit by like an asteroid that was breaking up, maybe rounding Jupiter and broke up like that Levy 9, that Schumacher Levy 9, and peppered the Earth. The first one, like hitting plate glass, it poked a pretty little hole. The second one shattered the plate glass. The third and fourth knocked them around. That's reality. And that fits because in the backside of the moon on the south side, about 180 miles down, is a large iron lodestone that is embedded into the moon. The moon is not, how to say it, it's not hot. It's not, the Earth is not as earthy or solid as people imagine. It's much more liquid, is what I'm trying to get at. Only the crust, only the mantle of Earth is solid. So once you crack that, it's like cracking glass. The moon, it's like punching a punching bag. Different, it's just a different material stack, is what it is. And that's why it lodged it. The I'm just saying that's my best guess. And I'm not saying that's the way it is. Yeah, I'm not saying it's the way it is. Just my best guess. But did we hit a planet to form the moon or any of that silliness? No, we didn't. It is 300 or 430 ppm the driving force for climate change? No, that's ridiculous. Even this idea of the hemp, we would only have enough atmospheric hemp or atmospheric CO2 with current pollutions to do this idea for about 100 years before we actually endangered the trees by taking too much out. That's how well this idea works. Yeah, so no, it's not like they talk. I'm sorry. I wish I was more wrong. I'm just saying that I'm not wrong on this. It's just not the way they say it is. That's all. But that's that. Yeah, in the computer thing, I don't know. Maybe I didn't even tell you, but I thought I could find the Corel program and this little laptop because it had all the right numbers. It just in the fine print, it wasn't what it was saying in the ad. It was one of them bait and switch kind of things, and I'm thankful that the AI caught that because I would have really cried to spend that much money that I don't have on something that wouldn't have worked or that would have worked very poorly for the application that it was designed or that was intended to. But I did find one. It was upwards in the $4,000 range that would fit the bill perfectly. But wow, I don't got that kind of money either, y'all. That's just it. And am I going to bury the idea or give it to Elon Musk or another billionaire or another one? I'll give you the $10,000. But you get 5%, all right? No, I ain't going there either. None of that silly bullshit. Okay, because in your hands you would destroy the idea anyways. So you wouldn't ever pull it off. You're too stupid and too greedy. I'm sorry, and I mean that about any billionaire, any investment person. Yeah, you got money, but you don't have money because you're brilliant. You have money because you're greedy. There's a difference. I mean, even an addict gets a score. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Okay, we're gonna leave it here and talk to you then. All right. I just kind of a sideways bump up on this, but it's best I got for today. Like I said, if I hear from this pro bono, I'll be in a gratefully thankful. But I did reach out to a per hire lawyer that was on an hourly basis. That was like, okay, that's going to cost way more than paying a lawyer $6,000 to do everything themselves and just hand you the package. One of those kind of upsell kind of people, and they did make a point, and I get it, that this is disrupting a $930 billion industry. That doesn't necessarily automatically give you nonprofit status, is what it comes down to. That it's not exactly how they worded it, but it's really close, is what I'm trying to get at. It's not going to help, is what I'm trying to get at. If I was making, solar bean cookers for something, that would probably be easier to push than this. But the whole idea is this is just the first of a lot of ideas that I want to push through this research center, not the only one. Okay, y'all, I'm going to leave it there. Talk to you then, and bye.